in this video I'm going to be talking to you about my top 10 recommended plants for attracting bees into your garden. Let's get to it. So bees are usually at their most active starting from mid-spring all the way up into mid-autumn, although you may well see a few individual bees flying around during the warmer days of the winter. In order to thrive, bees will need a range of plants that successively flower throughout the year. So when you're choosing plants to attract bees into your garden, you don't want them all flowering at the same time. You want a decent range that starts flowering in early spring, throughout the summer, right until the end of the autumn. So my top 10 flowering plants to attract bees into your gardens are going to be plants that have a long flowering period and plants that flower at different times of year, so early spring, summer and end of the autumn, and I'll be breaking them down into those three timelines. Now my first choice is the Roybe Sanguineum, otherwise known as the flowering currant, and originating from the Americas. It's a wonderful coloured early spring flowering plant that produces blooms on these drooping racemes, and in the UK there's really only a couple of cultivars you're going to get, which is Porpora Scarlet and Henry the Seventh, although there are three cultivars that have received the RHS Award of Garden Merit. Now if you're looking to plant this, it is very easy to grow. Just put it in full sun in a free draining soil. There really isn't much to it. All you need to do is immediately after flowering you prune back hard, and then that will give you more flowers in the spring because it flowers on the previous season's wood. But it's a great one, really early flowering, long lasting, and recommended by many people including me as an excellent pollinating plant for bees. Now my second choice are the hellebores, a genus of 22 species and multiple cultivars. Now these plants are fantastic because they start really early, so as those bees start to emerge in the spring, they've got an immediate availability of nectar on these plants. Easy to grow, they don't grow too tall, up to about 2 feet at most. Although to be honest with you, some of those will get a bit taller. I think it's Photides gets to about 3 feet tall. Don't worry about that. Just plant them in shade to semi-shade in a regular moist soil, and that's about it. Very easy, very early, very good for your emerging bees. Now coming into late spring, early summer, you have your ornamental onions, your Aliums, and you have Purple Sensation. This is a good early one, and then go on to your giant Aliums, Alium giganteum, a fantastic range. The bees love them, very easy to grow. Best colour variety I think is, in my opinion, Purple Sensation, but you can't deny those big Alium giganteum, and the other ones like Gladiator, or excellent plants. Pick up the bulbs in the autumn, plant them then, plant them in full sun, well drained soil. Very easy, really good, really ornamental. Love that one. Now number 4 are your Echiums. There's 2 varieties that will grow here in the UK that are pretty hardy. That's Candy Cans, which is your Pride of Madeira, and your Pininata, which is your giant Echium. Now these flower for quite a long time and the bees absolutely love them. Difficult to find as plants, but very easy to grow from the seeds. In fact, we've recently done a video on how to grow Echium from seeds, and I'll put the link for that in the description. But plant them in full sun, plant them in free draining soil. The giant Echium you may need to stake, because it does get very tall, and a good storm is likely to knock that over. But let's just flower endlessly, absolutely superb. And then after that, you get seeds everywhere as well, so free plants for everybody. That's a brilliant one, Echiums. Now my choice for number 5 are the sours, in particular this hybrid Salvia gemensis hot lips. And this is a great plant. This will flower from June to September. And although there's no bees on it right this minute, because I've just stood in front of the plant and fried them all off, it'll be smothered in bees over the summer. That's 4 months of flower, pollen and nectar producing. Plant it in full sun. Plant it in a well-drained soil. It is drought tolerant. It can be a bit tender the further north in the UK you go, but if that's the case, then give it a thick mulch over the winter period to protect those root systems, because they will grow through back from the roots if the stems get killed off. But wonderful plant. Not only is it a recommended bee pollinating plant, it also has received the RHS Award of Garden Merit. Now, it wouldn't be any kind of a list if I didn't include the bee balm. So at number 6 we have the Monardas, and again, a summer flowering, long flowering period, easy to grow, grows to about 1 meter tall. Once again, full sun, well drained soil, Monardas. A tip with those is just keep deadheading them, they'll continue to bloom. Now, number 7 are your lavenders. Now, all your lavenders are going to be great plants for attracting bees, but in the UK there's only 2 lots that actually survive the winter. The first is the cultivars and species of angustifolia, which is like your dwarf mustard, absolutely gorgeous, got this really dark blue rich blooms like those, and the hybrids of angustifolia, which is the cross intermedia. Stick to those 2 and you'll be fine for overwintering and then regrowing the following year. All the other cultivars and species and hybrids, they're not going to survive the winters unless we have a really mild winter, so I keep away from those. So if you want lavender, if you want them looking good and you want them every year looking good, then it's just those 2, angustifolia and the hybrid intermediate cultivars. Oh yeah, full sun, dry soil, cut back August or September, otherwise you'll get horrible woody plants the following year. Now, choice number 8 is a rather obvious choice. It is your buddleias, commonly known as the butterfly bush. It also does attract a huge amount of bees. Loads of flowers. Flowers are long lasting, very easy to grow. If you do live in the UK, you'll see the seedlings of which actually everywhere. So many people actually consider that to be a weed. But if you stick to the good cultivars of Davidii, many of which have received the Royal Horticultural Society's Award of Garden Merit, then you'll do fine. It's a great plant. It's so easy to grow and very floriferous. All you need to do to maintain it is, like the Roybes that we mentioned first, is to prune it hard immediately after flowering, because it flowers on the previous season's wood. An easy choice. You might not like it, but if you're just looking at plants that bees are going to be taking pollen and nectar from, that's a great choice. Now, moving into autumn flowering at number 9, we have the goldenrod, otherwise known as the solidago. Again, it's a great plant. Late summer, early autumn flowering, wonderful golden blooms. Grows about 3 foot. It's a little bit more work involved with actually planting it. It prefers to be in a neutral or slightly acidic compost and a sandy, dry, free draining soil, but get those conditions right, full sun, and it's a brilliant plant. It's so bright, it's absolute mass of gold. In fact, one of the forms, golden Mosa, has also received the Award of Garden Merit. I mean, these are all good plants that I've chosen for you. So that comes to number 10, the last one. What is my last one? Well, it's another fantastic autumn flowering plant. It is Centranthus rubra, otherwise known as the red Valerian, and this will flower, no kidding you, from as early as May, so as far into the season as late October. So it just flowers, so definitely an autumn flowering plant. Grows to about 1 meter tall, full sun. Pretty much growing anything around here. It has been a little bit invasive because it is literally everywhere, but it is a fantastic pollinating plant, not only for your bees but also your butterflies. And what's more, it's also a host plant for butterfly larvae. So as far as general wildlife and general pollinating plant for providing nectar for extended periods of time is that one, red valerian. And there you go. Can I just say that with all of these flowering plants, during periods of drought, they will need to be watered, because when conditions are dry, the nectar will dry up. So you might have planted these, but unless you maintain them so that they are still producing the nectar, then they're not going to do a lot. So there you have it. And that list is by no means the be all and end all. Oh, so funny. There are plenty of other plants, and if you've got any great bee attracting plants that you want to let us know about, put that in the comments. We would love to hear from you. Anyway, before I go, I've got one last message from me from the past. I'm sorry, I can't do it. I have to add one more to the list. Call it 10A, if you will, and that plant is Sedum Autumn Joy, native to Korea and China, but they've changed the name to a Hello Telephone, or Hello Telephone. I don't know why they have to. Well, I know why they have to keep changing the name, but honestly, could they not have chosen a better name? The thing is, this plant is absolutely superb, and if I don't add it to the list, you're only going to complain in the comments that I have missed out one of the most obvious plants for producing loads of nectar at the end of the year. And you need these plants so that the bees can build up enough resources to help them survive until the following spring. So it's a fundamental plant, really, if you're going to have a selection of bee attracting plants. And it's great. It grows to about 18 inches, has these lovely succulent leaves and succulent stems. The reason why it has that is because it's extremely drought tolerant. Plant it in full sun, free draining soil, and even if you live in the further northern reaches of England, you'll be absolutely fine with it, because it can tolerate cold temperatures down to between -12 and -15 degrees Celsius. So a fantastic plant. Anyway, that really is the last of my selection. So let's just finish this off now. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.